The next entry in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, FF7 Rebirth, is highly anticipated, but it is not the only remake in town. Over 2 years ago now, an Nvidia leak happened that would go on to be one of the most massive leaks in video game history, confirming multiple unannounced titles, some long before they were announced, as well as the PC release of certain other games. This includes titles such as Kingdom Hearts 4, but it also includes games such as Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered and Final Fantasy IX Remake. These are some of the last major games left from the Nvidia leak that haven't been announced yet, and everyone's wondering when it's coming. Well, you are going to want to smack that subscribe button because today I have an update for you on Final Fantasy IX Remake, and if you want more updates as the story on this game develops, this channel is the best place to get those updates as soon as they happen. And recently, gaming journalist Jeff Grubb, over on Game Mess Morning's podcast, had this to say about Final Fantasy IX Remake. Quote, "I heard recently once again Final Fantasy IX Remake is real. That is real and happening. There is a chance with Final Fantasy IX Remake, it isn't quite, almost certainly, as ambitious as Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff, but maybe somewhere between Crisis Core and Final Fantasy VII Remake." Another source from Reset Era, known as I'm a Hero 2, also commented on FF9 Remake, when asked if it plays like an action game now, or if it's still a traditional ATB turn-based game. The reply was traditional. That is to say, this is still going to be a turn-based game. For all of you turn-based fans that haven't been happy with Final Fantasy VII Remake or Final Fantasy XVI, this is your big win. When asked about how good does the game look, he had this to say, quote, "Very pretty. I may be biased, I love the game as a kid. It's not FF7R, but it's definitely not just a remaster." All of this sounds great to me. I know some may be disappointed that this isn't on the scale of Final Fantasy VII Remake, but personally, I think that's a good thing. FF7R is going to take an entire trilogy to complete. Creative Business Unit 1 could have been working on Final Fantasy 17 or 18 or anything else in that time, and by the time FF7R is finished as a project, it will have taken well over 10 years from announcement, with the announcement of the remake project dating all the way back to 2015, and holy god does that make me feel old. I'm also glad it's not an action game. Now listen, I am a supporter of Square doing these more action-oriented Final Fantasy games. I really don't mind action combat, and when it's done right, I straight up prefer it. However, I still really love turn-based combat too, and I think that keeping turn-based Final Fantasy alive in some way is a great idea. So this smaller scale, more traditional remake is right up my alley, and I think it's really going to be something that resonates quite well with FF fans. That being said, I still want this to be something with full voice acting, as I think that's going to be one of the most important features that they could have in something called Remake. Now, there is one bit of unfortunate news for Xbox and Nintendo Switch fans. According to the rumors, this is definitely not coming to the Nintendo Switch. As per the leaker, FF9 has Sony written all over it, and definitely not for Switch. While not explicitly said, this more than likely means that it is also not coming to Xbox. FF9 Remake will follow in the footsteps of FF16 and 7 Rebirth and continue to be a Sony exclusive. Someone on there tried to poke a little bit further and they said quite clearly, "I've seen it, it's not coming to Switch." This implies at the very least that the graphics are beyond what Switch can do. Of course, all of these are just rumors until officially proven by Square Enix, so don't take anything in this video to heart or believe it unquestionably until officially confirmed. And it will be very exciting to see what Final Fantasy IX Remake looks and plays like sometime in the near future. Shout out to patron Gabriel and the rest of the Ultima community.